Frederick Douglass said it's easier to rebuild strong children than to rebuild broken men. So with Trinity Team, we're going back to the future, and I'm gonna build on that little boy that's inside of me and make him strong so we can help the future. But all 2023 know that Trinity Team here to make a movement. Let's go back to the future. What up, world? Welcome to Trinity Team. I got a very, 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 very special guest today. My brother Mario Johnson. What up, bro?
What's up, my brother? How you doing?
Man, long time no see, long time no hear. It's a pleasure to have you here, brother.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here, man. That's a blessing.
So my very first question, you don't have to share, but can
What's
you
that?
tell the people where you and I met?
Oh, we met in prison
Yeah. And
during
that's
a
my
hard
brother.
time.
Yeah. My brother, I'm gonna give y'all a quick version. I ain't gonna go into too much, but he was locked up for murder, initially given a life sentence, would never coming home. Um, Eventually, case got overturned. My brother came home. Now he's on fire for God, and he understood that God sent him down for a reason. We couldn't see
Mm-hmm.
it back then because we were young. But man, tell me when you first encountered like the power of God. How do you know God was real? Not this walk, but when you first encountered the power in general. How old were
The life sentence coming off.
you?
Should I say no? I can't say no more. But even that, it's like I was just watching Jalen Hurts just now. He ain't taking in that he just won. Like he's almost emotional. Like
Right,
it
right.
didn't hit me, until later that God had, because I had my agenda on my mind.
Hmm.
I didn't have time to really sit down and thank him. Like, wow, just sit down and thank him. You know what I mean? So I had more work to do. Yeah, he had more work to do on me because any person would have been like, man, look, man, I don't care if I don't get nothing else. I lost that. I can go home. I can be free. I don't know what was
Right.
wrong. Huh?
I said right.
My ambition was too high to notice. Like I was
Okay.
waiting to get out like a horse trying to bust out the gates, man. Like on the racetrack on derbies or something. Yeah, like I knew I was gonna get out and just start hitting the ground running. I went straight to school, went straight to business school and everything. So I didn't have time to, and that was in the halfway house. I went to
Mhm.
school in the halfway house, and nobody had did that. So my ambition got in the way. I think the enemy can play with you sometime and cause you to forget. You know what I mean? Where you get your bread and your butter from, your water. You know what I mean? God
Okay.
provides, and we never thank Him half the time.
You're right about that. But where
Mm.
did you grow up? Let's backtrack a little. Where you from originally?
Originally born in England, but my dad was in the service and when I was real young. And he retired in the '80s, and then we was in Georgia. Then we moved to
Okay.
Delaware, and now it's back to Georgia again. So like between those two places,
Okay. And how was it like growing up with a dad in the military going back and forth?
uh, my personal experience,
Yeah.
uh, we didn't get along. This is, as you very well know. You know,
Okay.
I don't know. He was a narcissist. I don't know what else to say about him. He everything was about him. And
Okay.
yeah, he wasn't, and he didn't go to church. So like I told you before, and my story with that is like he come in and turn that radio off quick. Anytime you hear gospel, it's going off. We'd be cleaning right after church. He'll come in, won't say nothing, just turn the radio off. I knew what time it was, and I went upstairs in my room, and I go close the door because I didn't want to catch that beast right there. At that time, he liable to find anything wrong with what I did, so I just stayed alone. You know,
Okay.
yeah, that's what it like growing up. It's like you got tiptoe around somebody. That's what it was
So
like.
how did you channel the way he? Because we talked before, but like I said, I'm gonna let you tell your story, so I don't want to put words in your mouth. But
No, you
how
good,
did
good.
you channel? Uh, of course, Pops was fighting his own demons because we grew
Right,
up
right.
similar. So
Right.
what did you get into to channel that was going on coming up? Like what
Boxing,
hobbies did you have? Oh, boxing.
boxing,
Oh, all right.
and I did models. I like to put cars together. You know what I mean? So I spent a lot of time alone. So
Okay.
like you very well know, I was more of a loner. You know what I mean?
Right.
I didn't really fit in with no crowd. So I just found little things to get into. So I had a lot of time to train. You know what I mean? So that's what I was into. While everybody was outside, I was doing my own thing. You know. So wrestling, tried that a little bit. I tore my leg up, so I can't plant down. So it was just boxing from then on. But
Okay.
and it was like I guess a little bit came out. That's you know, a lot of pent up anger being in the house. Seeing it from him, and then you got to get into something. You know what I mean? You ain't got no real kids to be around, so it was strange. It was strange coming up in the home. It felt like he wasn't even my father sometimes. Like I was adopted or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because he was dealing with his own anger. Like
Right.
said, we went through like similar stuff, and they don't know, man. Whatever their vices or whatever demons they had, and they don't know until later. Because I made peace with my pops in my older age too, and I know you told me you did before yours
Oh
passed
man,
away. Yeah.
what a release. I wanted to do nothing but love him. You know, quiet as kept, I was looking up to him, but he was just slowly stripped that away from me. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? And I started, to quietly resent him. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But later on in life, man, I wanted to do nothing but just be there for him. I'll go ahead and say
So
that
what
right
what
now.
happened with him? What happened with him? Did he
When
get
he
sick?
passed away, he got a
Oh,
leg cut off because of diabetes.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
And
his
what
whole
happened with
leg.
that? How was he in the like? How did you make amends with him when he was in the hospital?
I think it was around Father's Day. I hadn't spoken to him in a while. Actually, my girlfriend was telling me to call him. And had she not said it, because I remember it was her that said, "Yes, go ahead and call him," because I didn't know what to expect. I'm
Hmm.
glad I'm glad I did because he ended up crying. You know what I mean? Like, man, never heard him cry about something that bothered me. It was
Right.
always the other way around. You know what I mean? So I knew he was serious. Like, man, I said, look, I forgive you, Father. You know, it allowed him to have the floor to say what was on his mind, that it had been bothering him. And in that moment, I realized my father was just a human being, more than just being a parent. If you strip that all the parental duties away, husband, they're going through their own walk, man. You know what I mean? People I mean, I look around today, and I can see my dad in a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
Meaning, man, this is, for the longest time, he just sitting there hurt. Maybe I could have saved him from that. I don't know. If I had just a little bit more courage or a bit more love, I don't know. I wish I could have did better. So like I don't even hold nothing against him anymore like I used to. I
And
just see him
that
as a
that
human
was a
being.
weight off your shoulder as well when you learn to forgive, right?
You're right.
Yeah.
Power of forgiveness, they don't ever overlook that one. Because we always want it, but we don't ever give it.
Right. Boy, you said a mouthful there, boy.
Hmm. Yeah, all the time. You already know I'm on it.
Yeah.
I am on it, man. I'm always analyzing myself anyway. I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I just know that I've committed every single sin out there. It seems like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And I'm the least that can be talking about anybody for real, for real. I'm not perfect myself. I'm still walking imperfectly, so it'll never change. As long as I know that, I'm always going to improve, and that goes to anybody out there. As long as you think you're imperfect, that's how you got to look at yourself. You'll always need God. You know what I mean? It's that when we think we're good is when them devil creep in and keep you separated. So you gotta look at yourself as dirt almost. You're nothing without them. You know what I mean? So
Right.
that's where I'm at, and it helps me analyze the wrong. Because when you search your heart, well, you find some things in there you don't want to see.
Yeah, they say when you look at God and you realize how filthy you are, you have a moment like Job, like man, I'm in nothing. Where were you when I created the world? Where were you when I
Yeah,
did this?
man, for real, man. Trying to take all the credit, man. Man, Job. Don't you feel like Job sometimes?
All the time.
I was about to say, I don't know which one you feel like the most in the Bible.
Yeah, probably
You know,
David. Well, in the beginning, I felt like David because they say David was a man after God's own heart, and you
that,
like, I want to do good because we got the mindset to do good, but at the end of the day, we still have selfish ambitions. Like you,
oh,
like, okay,
yeah.
I love women. David then got this man wife pregnant to send
He
him to the
got
battle,
to
got
send
him
off.
killed, got him killed to cover it up.
He ain't coming back.
Yeah, going through his own stuff, saying go be with your wife. But that man has so much integrity. He was like, I'm good. My soldiers in the field. I need to be in
Right.
the field. So he
That's
like, all
crazy.
right, take this letter. But David was like, all right, I got something for you. You want to go to battle? I'm
I
about
know
to
it.
send you infantry front line.
Mm-hmm.
Get your
That's
block
it.
knocked off. But as a man of God, you got to answer for all that. So
Yeah.
when
That's
the
the worst. That's when it becomes bad
yeah,
because now you're at this crossroads. You still got to choose between what you want and what he needs you to do. You know, and it's hard. That's the thing. Most men and most people today, for real, but it's always been men. It'll never change. They don't want to relinquish control. You know what I mean? Women are like that now. You're catching up to men, like,
yeah,
because they're so used to being a father and a mother and brother and everything.
right,
So
right, right.
they can't tell the difference between a real man and themselves anymore and what they've already been doing.
Right.
So, you know, fatherless homes, a lot of that hitting our culture. Of course, everybody well knows it's like, that's going on, but it's being bred into us. You know what I mean? Like a dog breed or something like that.
Hmm.
And we're not dogs. We're people with reasoning capabilities. Why in the heck are we still taking on this type of culture? I don't know. They say that a black woman is the least married, man, and the quickest to divorce. I don't know how that worked, man. But that a lot of times they come from fatherless homes. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
most of the time.
Yeah,
Because it
man.
started with
So
the whole the welfare theory, the I don't need a man. So all of that stuff is designed to get the father out the home. And that's designed by Satan because Satan already know if I could destroy the head,
mm,
the body gonna fall. And if
right,
we fall for it as men, what you just said, we want to be in control. So we think we calling the shots. And you
right.
tell her, do as I say. You tell them kids, do as I say, not as I do. But they gonna do as you do. And you could
Anyway,
say, yeah.
mm,
And God gave you a govern a household. So you supposed to be head of your home. Your wife's supposed to follow you. Your kids supposed to follow y'all. But the tip
mm.
top of that is you supposed to follow God. So if you not following God, the rest of the umbrella gonna be jacked up too.
I tell you what. I tell you a good example of that to a T.
Mhm.
Like a thorough Christian home. My sister. I ain't never seen nothing like it. She don't move without him. In a sense, you know what I mean? Like she still has her ways though. She got
Right.
a little Johnson ways, and I keep hearing about it. You know what I mean? He be catching wreck with her.
But she follow, but she honor her man at
But
the end
she
of the day.
honors his decisions. Yes,
Right.
she doesn't. And if she told me if something happens, she pulls him over the side. But she still let him, like, she give him a little suggestion, like, just. But she doesn't want to take his spot ever. Women today want to take your spot and don't realize they're trying to do it.
Yeah,
You know what I
but
mean?
it's a spirit, bro. It's a spirit in the world. Like my pastor always talk about Ahab and Jezebel spirit. So it's
Mm,
designed if you ain't, but it's still it starts with the man. If you ain't strong enough to say, okay,
yeah.
God, get me in line. I want to be under this umbrella.
Right.
Then everything else is gonna fall. So
But
that's
they.
where what you just said. You get a lot of women working two jobs, they
Right.
being the mama and the daddy, so now the household switch up.
Mm-hmm.
So now if she's raising a little boy, he ain't got nobody in there to teach him how to be a dad. So the outside teaching him how to be a menace. So
Mm-hmm.
now instead of a man, now you got a baby daddy.
That's
You
right.
got somebody that's a part of the system, and
That's right.
you got the culture that we got going on now. But it's up to
Unchecked
us to
too.
like train and and teach them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Because
that's
yeah,
terrible.
subconsciously we become part of it. Like I say, man, I got a lot. Like bro, I got a lot of regrets, but there's a lot of stuff that I had to learn,
And then I went from feeling like David to feeling like Job because I was like, yo, I thought I knew it all. And God was like, boy, you don't know ish.
Right.
Sit down. I was trying to keep you from getting wet, but you want one from under my umbrella.
I
So guess
know,
what? I gotta
man.
let you go
Yeah.
bump your head. So just like Job, I ain't gonna let you die,
Yeah.
but you gonna feel the pain though.
Oh, you gonna feel this fall right here. You're gonna catch all of
And then when
it.
you
It
come
is.
back, yeah, you gonna understand why is why. And I'm
Mhm.
like, man, like you in the wilderness, man.
The show feel like that, but you need
Yeah,
it. You need it. You need that butt spanking sometimes. Even as a man, you need a butt spanking. I mean, I'm getting, I was getting spanked every day, but you know what? I appreciate them spankings, those them spiritual spankings,
yeah,
because there's no way I'd be here right now without it. All I do is look at myself as the dummy. It took me this long to figure out that God loves me this much, but it's because, like I said, my ambition got in the way. I hadn't learned to relinquish that control to him and say, look, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Now it seems like everything that I ever thought I liked or loved or cared about is just disappeared. Like even the boxing, like I was telling you before, like it's barbaric to me now. I was like, wait a minute, it's all paganistic kind of thing. They was Rome doing that, but no Christian back then was ever a part of that. So
right.
based on doing exactly that, the Olympics, Olympia, Mount Olympia,
Mhm.
everything started there, them sports and everything, Greco-Roman style wrestling and all that stuff. Like it's a part of their world, not our God's world. Not, you know what I mean? Jesus Christ never talked about that. And I know his people never entertained that. But you know what happened though? In those same arenas, they were killing and persecuting Christians though,
Right.
letting lions eat them up and stuff like that in those same coliseums. And I thought about it, I was seeing this, and I said, man, you know what? I'm done. I'm finished. I just want to be a gentleman. It's going to take work because I'm so used to being aggressive, like going at my life aggressively. So that part I have to kind of, trying to push that down. It's going to take some time, but I enjoy being able to cry for the Lord now. You know what I mean? Today in church, man, like you want to hug everybody. Like this is a family now. You look. I never looked at it like that. You go to church on Sunday, you go home. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You ain't gonna see them till next Sunday. We
Right.
got a Wednesday Bible study coming up, but it was just I was able to approach the pastor like I told you, man. I'm about to do some things with him, see if we can go out there together and evangelize. Really bring this to the people outside that really need it. That's what I know church is about. So that's going to take a lot of my time anyway. I'm sitting writing notes all the time now. Like I'm in school. God put me in a school, man. Like I'm in university, right? The Bible University. So I was like, man, all this time, that's what you had for me. And it's so much better than I could have ever imagined, man. So
But you was
anybody out
running
there,
from it because you wasn't prepared back then. So all you know is the anger, the hate, and
yeah.
it sparked from the stabbing. You want to talk about that when you got
Oh, now
jumped?
that right there.
You don't have
Soon,
to talk about it. It's up to you.
man, look, people out there need help. Look, it wasn't my fault anyway. You know what I mean? So it's not. I'm not embarrassed. I can't be embarrassed when God tells I'm led by God to help somebody else. But
Okay.
look here, when I was younger, I had a reputation, of being that guy that could do this, do that. He had hands or whatever. Growing up then, we wrestled, we fought a lot. You know what I mean? People got shot, but not like that. Not like today. It was
Yeah,
like
and you you
we were
kept
like,
you kept the bullies in check though, because you
yeah.
you had nice
That's where my
hands. Yeah.
fights used to come in.
Right.
I used to fight for somebody else all the time. I seldom ever fought for myself. It was always somebody else. You know what I mean? But what happened was a reputation grew. I was always known for being strong, and things like that. But I was in that type of life. While they was out playing, I was learning how to fight all the time.
Hmm.
So the only way they could get me was like five of them. And I didn't know I don't know if they had it planned, but I swear to goodness, it looked like demons. They turned to straight demons or something. But one guy tackled my knees right here, so it slammed my legs together. So I had no more balance. I couldn't spread legs out to get some, get good
Hmm.
balance on them. Cause I had like two of them, putting them on the floor, and then they all tackled me at the same time, pretty much. And there was nothing I could do. You know what I mean? But there was
Right.
one big dude. You know, I'm gonna remain him names because if I say it, I might get mad again. But I
Okay.
forgave him. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I couldn't get up because his weight was just too much. You know what I mean? He was built like a grown man. He was bigger than all of them. So they threw me on the bed, man. Like they had my legs, my hands, and all that stuff. But it was like I was in a cross, like a cross from, you know what I mean, like the
Right.
cross,
Right.
arms like this. And because they was on my elbows, I couldn't move my arms to even get leverage to get up.
Hmm.
And then somebody was on my back, you know what I mean. Then two dudes spread my legs open and pulled my pants down. Man, stuck a knife in there and try to put it up in there and twist. You know what I mean? But the only reason it stopped, the way it stopped is because when I yelled and screamed, the dude's mom came down, was trying to come downstairs, and they said, "Oh, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up." And from that day on, I was broken, and I couldn't tell a soul why. You know, the guy that I thought I was, I didn't feel like anymore. Up until you guys met me, and I still was broken. You know what I mean? I could not find myself until now because I hid it from myself. But, you know, it was like, man, like you gave us something. And then it wasn't my fault. That's them doing that stuff. I would never pull that on another
Right.
dude's pants. You know what I mean? But that's how they could get to me because of that. That's what I said. I had that reputation. It was like, man, we're gonna show him now. It was one of them said that.
Yeah, and that's
Like,
why they stuck the knife. And like you said, it was
yeah,
to make
you
you
know what I
feel
mean?
like less than a man because you
Mm-hmm.
you had you had the hands and you was a fighter. But
Mm-hmm.
when I met you, all I saw was like you always showed me love and respect, and I gave it back. That's why I always call you my brother. But what I
Yeah.
saw underneath was like a lot of hate and anger. I'm like, man, every time I see him, he's like he mad at the world. And you will hit that punching bag. I'm like, Jay, what you doing? You say, hey man, come down there. And I remember that one day I say, hey, teach me. I won't do what you do. And then I went down there. And you killed me, man.
I
I
did.
I said, man, he'll stop training, man. I'm tired what he doing. He was like, yo, you got to keep going. Feet can't
Oh,
be like sand. I say, man, this brother going off straight anger and hatred. Like, what?
yeah. I'm so glad I'm out of that, man. It sound cool. Like if I was younger, I'd be like, yeah, you doggone right. But you know, now that knowing back the day, there's something wrong with me. I got problems today because of that. I was holding on that. You know, people that don't know about anger, you know, cortisol, that hormone is built up in your body, and the more your body it produces it, the harder it makes your body work, your heart and all that kind of stuff. You know, stress. It's a stress hormone.
Mhm.
You know, endorphins, the pleasure hormone, you ain't producing a lot of because your life is messed up. But with that type of thing on your mind, even if you feel like an old man while you're young, man. You know, a lot of people, you know, the reason why I say this because, man, look, a lot of people out there, especially with our color, you know,
Yeah.
our culture, you know, you can't say a doggone thing. You better not.
Get
You know
right.
what I mean? It's just something for them to pick on or mess with. You know what I
Right.
mean? Nobody
Right.
ever understands. Like, what was you doing? Why I wasn't doing nothing. I just never expected it to happen.
Right.
Who gonna get up today and say there's gonna be a knife in your butt in like an hour? You know what I mean? Nobody gonna say
Right.
that.
Right.
You know what I mean? I don't know, but it took my confidence away. I tell you that. I felt less than a man or anything. I don't know, man.
So
I
tell
don't
the
know. Maybe.
people, so somebody that's dealing with that now, and this is why I asked you to talk about it. So for somebody else that's dealing with the anger and the hatred, tell them how you overcame and what advice would you give to them besides the letting it go because it's easier to say it, but how can they do it when they fighting it?
Oh man. Well, for me personally, it took up until now. I mean, I've always had an anger problem. I just suppressed it, or I couldn't suppress it no more, and it would just come out, and there was nothing I could do about it. It's because I hid that from myself that I didn't know it was up. You know, it was like maybe last week. I mean, up until last week, man, or 2 weeks ago. For real, that's a long time.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know, being in your late 40s and you know, you saying, okay, I'm gonna knocking on 50's door now. That's a long time to be sitting there with that same demon.
Right.
But it was that night that I danced, man. You know, I think when I was dancing and dancing, I couldn't stop. I was sweating like a pulpit pastor, man. You know, you see them patting their head, man. That's how I was in there with my shirt and everything. Sweat was in my eye. I was burning. God had me dancing for him, man, because it was like he had came down, and I ain't gonna lie, I was on marijuana, man. You know, the gummies to keep my heart down. Remember,
Hmm.
I just now started getting this ablotipen, but I take it to calm down, but I didn't calm down. He came down and reached down and got me. It was like he got tired of waiting on me to really commit. So I would never say and take that on myself and say, yeah, I did. I make that choice.
It was God.
It was God saying and coming in like an intervention or something. Like, I know you've had enough. I know you hurting. You know what I mean? Because the job was beating me up too. And you give your best, and they want more. They want more, but you don't got no more. I'm back only because I ain't got no insurance. I'm still hurting, and I'm still out working everybody you got back here. But that doesn't matter. It's like you just feel like what, I'm back into a corner. And right before you about to give up, God says, "No, I see everything. Come here," and He picks you right on up. Like, I was like, "Wait a minute, why can I?" It didn't sober me up right away, but I said, "No, man," because the next day I was like, "Man, there's no way He came to me when I was high. I guess it don't matter. Cause I guess He can come to you when you're drunk too."
Right.
You know what I mean? But I felt like I didn't deserve Him to come down here right now while I was in this condition and pull me up out of my struggle. And that's exactly what He did. And I ain't looked back since. You know what I mean? Because I was like, I don't deserve this. Because now I'm in that humble state. Like, I don't deserve none of this.
And I
None of
want
it.
to tell my audience, this is why I called my brother, because exactly what he said, what happened. I just wanted him to share his story, because he called me. He was like, "Man, I've been dancing, yada yada yada." And the first thing I'm not come to my mind, I say, "Man, this ninja crazy, man."
And I can't even dance, man. I don't got, man, I got 3 left feet, not, let
Yeah,
alone
I
2.
say,
They come
man.
out 2.
I
Man,
say this ninja crazy. He say, "Listen, man, God, woo, woo, woo," and he talking, and I'm like, man, I heard him talk like this before, but I never heard him talk about to the level what he's saying now. And he was like, "I'm done. I'm at peace." And then he finally told me this, because I never knew the story about the stabbing either until he told me last week. And then he was like, "Hey, this is what happened." And then he told me like a bunch of stuff. And like we had man to man talking. Like, this my big bro and I love him. And I never look at him any less. And he was like, "Look, we got
yeah,
work
you
to
always
do.
told me that. Yep.
I'm on a path of evangelist now." And I was like, "Wait, what?" And he like, "I'm writing notes. I feel like I'm in class." The same stuff he told y'all, he told me. I was like, "Nah, I gotta have my brother share his own story, man."
Yeah, man. It's a blessing to be in God's presence every day now. I can't imagine not ever being in it. Like, I mean, that's why I say it takes so long. But the thing is, you're ready when you're ready. He
Right.
knows when you're ready more than you know. But I think because of these times that we're going into, and y'all please wake up. Please know that we in them end times. We're in Revelation. So just go right to your Bible, go right to Revelation. That's the cheat code. Straight to Revelation, you'll see what's happening today. Because a lot of people are more asleep than ever while this is happening. You know what I mean? And it makes me upset with the church. Oh yeah, church, I'm coming for you because y'all being cowards. And then when I put this,
Mhm.
my podcast together, that's what I'm going for. I'm not going for the lost. Not right away. It's not their fault that they don't know half the time. When we go to church, we have it in a building hidden from everybody.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Now, how are they supposed to know? I mean, half of them won't want to come in the building. They don't know anybody. You got to bring the church to them, man.
Facts.
Oh,
And
hold
we
on.
got and we gotta be right before we go out there.
Right. You know what I mean? But I think that's why he pulled me up. Because I'm the type of guy that's not afraid to tell you the truth.
Mhm.
I've never, you know what I mean? I've never been a coward, until that stuff happened. It changed me. I just didn't know how to work with it. I mean, what am I supposed
Right.
to do?
Right.
But before then, none of that. Yeah, I was always alone. I rode like a tiger, man, not a lion, a tiger that is on his own. You know what I mean? So I held my own self down. But I'm telling you, man, we got to do better than that. And I know God chose me for that. Because I'm still gonna come at him with love. But sometimes you need thought provoking, questions
Right.
that they can't escape from. So where's that scripture at? God chosen servant. Matthew, parable of the sower. Okay.
Read
That
it.
same day Jesus went out of the house and sat by the lake. Such a large crowd gathered around him that he got into the boat and sat in it. While all the people stood on the shore, then he told them many things in parables, saying, and see, that's how he did it. That's why he always said, those that have ears, let them hear. A farmer went out to sow his seed. As he was scattering the seed, some fell along the path, and the birds came up, ate it. Some fell on the rocky places where it did not have much soil. It sprang up quickly because the soil was shallow. But when the sun came, hold on, I'm losing my spot. Up, the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no root. Other seeds fell among the thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. Still, other seed fell on the good soil, where it produced a crop 160 or 30 times what was sown. He who has ears, let them hear. Meaning, whoever this is for, you're gonna know. If you love me, you're gonna hear what I'm saying.
Right. And
But
you're
at
gonna
that
be on the
time, the
good side.
Sadducees,
Yeah.
huh?
And you're
You said,
gonna fall on that good soil. Satan not gonna come uh take your word, and when hard times come, it makes you fade away.
right? You see what I'm saying? Like a lot of Christians are like that. They're getting picked off. Like the first two. Like they go to church, but the seed, like it's not really planted. There's no good soil there. You just
Right.
playing church. Like I seen your church, man. Y'all look like y'all celebrate. This
Yes.
church I went to, today, beautiful. Hmm?
This pastor, what you just said, I started going to this church when I went through the stuff with my daughter's mom when I was living in my car. This is what saved my, it was God who used them to save my life, but this is what saved my life. Like, so I'm glad you picked up on it straight from the beginning. You was like, no, that's real church.
Yeah, real church, man. Real church, you know. And this one I go to is an evangelistic, qualities. But they said the guy that invited me said that the other pastor was a little different. He said, now this one, he's more of an evangelist. So I guess it depends on the pastor too. But
Right,
see, the pastor's supposed to be the leader, right?
right,
And he's supposed to be teaching the right thing, right?
right,
Because there's no way getting around these red letters that say when Jesus say you need to go out in the world and tell them to be a light. You know what I mean? A lamp to the world. And we deliberately tell Jesus we don't trust you and we don't love you enough to go out there and put ourselves out there. That's all you're saying. So to me, that's a coward. You know what I mean? You go at life, you go out, you talk to people every day.
right,
It's just when that comes out, like, no, I ain't saying that. You denying him before the world, y'all. So he's gonna deny you before the Father because you really didn't love him. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. If you think I'm lying, go to the red letters and you tell me I'm lying. But that's why I said on my one video, we got band together, man. The real Christians, the real brothers and sisters that, really thinking this. There might be some like, in the church, really, but they don't know who to talk to. Man, talk
right,
to me. I'll be ready. Hey, look, I don't give I gotta fly somewhere, man. I'm about God's business, man. Whatever need to be done before all this crap hit the fan, I'm there. You know what I mean? And I said, I'm at the point where I'll die for my God, just like he died for me. Or any brother or sister, that I'll lay my life down for him. Like he's got me loving like that. You see what I'm saying? Like
man.
when he come and get you, he come and get you and pour himself into you, who he is. And I'm not saying I'm Jesus. I'm not, and never, ever. I still depend on the Lord to give me my strength, but that's what he gives you, more of a capacity to love and have compassion and understanding and knowledge, the wisdom. I've always prayed for wisdom like Solomon. That was my favorite character in the Bible, was Solomon. Now, I'm not saying over Jesus. I'm talking about the Old Testament.
Right,
But out of all of them, because they had so many of them, was Solomon. I mean, from wisdom comes everything else.
right.
You see what I'm saying? So why not pray for wisdom? Yeah, I could have been like Samson. You would think I would have picked Samson because of the boxing and stuff.
Yeah, and he was strong.
Right, man. But nah, it wasn't him. Solomon had wisdom, man. You know, that's what I want. God, give me wisdom, because then after that, you know, I can lead people. I can take them to God. You know what I mean? And, you know,
So tell
discernment.
tell them the name of your YouTube channel, because I saw a video you did yesterday, and I'm
It's
like, man,
basically gonna
I'm
be lived
proud of
by
you,
faith.
brother.
It's gonna be lived by faith, man. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Because that's the biggest issue we're having. We don't have faith in Jesus at all. So I'm developing this so that I can bring, you know, there's a lot of Christians need to be brought along. Maybe y'all need to re-educate. Maybe your pastor ain't saying enough to you, but I need you to know the truth, because we need to be out here helping people that need help. Like I ran into that guy today. Didn't
Hmm.
know his girl died, left him with all these kids. And guess what I told you? Didn't I tell you we was about to get in a fight?
Right.
Now, not me, because I just came from church. I was feeling all right. But the way he was receiving me, because I couldn't use my car to get in my job, I think they locked me out now. I can't use my card anymore. So
Okay.
I was confused about that, because that never happened. So he's mistaking my confusion for, dude,
For
I'm not even
anger.
thinking about you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you know, he was like, you came at me. I said, what are you talking about, man? I just came from church. I ain't even on that. I said, if I was coming at you, it'd be a different story right now. Probably
Right.
wouldn't have been saying too much. But I mean, what you do? You know, basically, what did you do? You didn't do nothing wrong. I'm feeling all right, man. I was just wondering what your issue is. Then it comes out. You don't know how many people are hurting. A lot of mistakes happen between, you know, interaction with people, because everybody's hurting.
And
And if
tell
you can really see,
tell them how you ended that situation with that dude today.
oh, I prayed with him. I prayed over his situation. You know what I mean? I hugged him. I told him it's gonna be all right. I was in his ear and I said, man, it's gonna be okay. You just need somebody to listen. That's all. You know, and I can see the pain in your eyes, man. And he was like, this, man, bro. He's like, OG, he was like, he could tell he wanted to cry. You know what I mean? But I was going there to get this hat that's up there. Hold up. Because this is one of my favorite ones, right?
Mhm.
I had that one made. And I didn't know where it was for the longest time. Now, lo and behold, you know, I told you Joe called me, you know what I mean, said, hey man, I know where your hat is and stuff. Right before today, you know, when I run to this guy. So it was almost like it was destined for me to find it today, just so I can talk to him, because I'd never seen that guy before, that security guard.
But he needed to hear that word.
You're right. So God will set up appointments for you when you are ready to talk to people and your heart is wide open and ready to receive people that really need to hear that message. He gonna put you in the right place. And I went home thinking, I said, wow. Now normally that would have ended up into a fight. You know what I mean? And I'm almost inviting it. You know what I mean? Because I want to show you something. Not everything, you know. Some people can't fight like they on TV in the movies.
Right.
You know what I mean? Most people out there shooting and stuff, they ain't got no skills. They scared. I ain't
Right.
one of those. You finna catch some wreck. But that's, you know what I mean? But I was so glad that I was changing that situation. It was like he showed me, yeah, I am changing you. You remember how you used to react to stuff like this? I was like, wow, Lord, man. I was like, man, you are so beautiful. You're so beautiful, so wonderful, man, that you put me in a position to help somebody, not hurt them. You know what I mean? And I think for the longest time as a kid, that's all I wanted to do. I was sensitive as a kid too, but I had to shut that down. Even my mother was like, man, yeah, you're too emotional. I'm like, man. So I started thinking something was wrong with me.
So you
You
had
know?
to hide your feelings, and that's what we do as
Yeah.
men. Men
Yeah.
don't cry. Men don't show emotions. Men don't do this, and for you know, you got a hard shell, and nobody don't feel your pain.
Yeah. So now when I'm angry, everybody's scared now. You know, which version of me do you want?
Right.
You know, but so I was confused coming up. I didn't know how to be. I lost sight of who I was supposed to be. God, I was so God like, woo, hey, Mario, I'm way over here. I would have never known it because I didn't have the influence anymore. You know, like I said, my dad would turn that music off. Now, I mean, towards the end, I guess he tried. Now, you know, I ain't gonna lie. I wonder where his soul is at because I don't think he really accepted. He had too much pride to relinquish control, total control. He's never been that person to not be in control. So even in his death, in his deathbed, he wouldn't even let the doctors have control. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he had too much pride to really relinquish like that. So I pray that he made it, in time, because you can be on your deathbed and say, Jesus, I love you. You're my Lord and Savior. You know what I mean? You died for me on the cross. I believe you died for my sins. And you'll make it.
And
Just
I'm
like the
happy,
person.
that you made peace with him. And I think, just my personal opinion, I think the fact that you forgave him and made peace with him, that God then was like, now I'm gonna make peace within you. That's what I
Right,
think happened. Yeah.
right, man. I hope he's there because there's nothing more. Dude, we going to paradise, man. We're not supposed to be storing up everything. Let them rich people have that, y'all. Because the world, I'm telling you, you're basically the meek that he was talking about. The meek shall inherit the earth. You're going to turn around and judge them that was oppressing you. And you'll never have to pay for anything ever again like they making you pay now. Not in God's kingdom, you won't. They said that they'll be the least in there. And so pastors that ain't telling the truth. You know what I'm saying? So that's a dangerous place to be for God to tell you you're last. You remember that time you taking all their money, you taxing them to death. You got them barely can feed their kids. Well, now it's your turn. So you'll be at least in heaven. You might make it in. That's for the pastors that are playing around. But the rich man, he can't. Like I said, a camel get through the eye of a needle before he can get into heaven. So with them, you know what I mean? They're gonna be scorching hot. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about Donald Trump lying about Christ all of a sudden. I'm talking about this Elon Musk dude. They got dragons on his thing, and now all of a sudden he's smiling. He's infiltrating a government. But I showed you that, didn't I?
You did. I ain't even
Tell them
look
about
at
that.
that.
Tell them about it.
I ain't even look at it when he
What?
was
You
yeah,
tripping?
that jacket. I was like, wait, it did say that entering
Uh-huh.
a new dawn.
A new dawn, a new ushering a new world order. That's what it stands for. Now that's what the Antichrist stands for. A new world order. You know what I mean? So why is he trying to do that? Getting a social. Trump's trying to have a dictatorship because if he moves them out the way, there's nobody to oppose him. He can usher in that new age. And now he's going to Gaza, like I said. He don't care nothing about that. But all of a sudden,
Building
he's this
hotels on the
loving
Holy
man, huh?
Land.
Huh?
Building hotels on the Holy Land.
Yeah. All he's doing is doing this so we get our guard down because America, even though they be faking the funk, man. Like, look, we're based on a Christian culture, a culture. Not that the church is doing anything to do about any. Like, we should be above the government for real. We should be controlling what the government does based on our faith. But that ain't happening. They just running rampant. There's nobody checking them because the church is so weak. Now, if they say that, it's just like the Book of Eli, that movie with Denzel Washington.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted that Bible because they could control people. Trump is doing nothing different. That movie, he's doing exactly what that movie said. If we make them think this way, their guard comes down. Their guard comes down, and they're all right. They don't got the defenses up. They getting us ready for something. That's what it is, like a decoy. Play with you over here, doing this over there. Let's just tell them we love God. And if there was a video where he was asking Musk, they were asking Musk, "Do you believe in Jesus?" He said, "I believe in his teachings are good." But the devil can say that because he does what's wrong. Yet
Right.
Jesus, he knows. And he wasn't lying about that. He knows Jesus good, teachings are good of good. Because he
Because
knows
the
what side
Bible
he's
say
on.
that the Bible say even the demons tremble.
Yeah. There's nothing he can do with that. But they try to corner him. It was these Christians, I don't know who they are. I just ran across it on accident. I just found it interesting that they said, in the title, you look at the title, and it was asking about Jesus. Let me see what he say. And his intelligence is damn near unmatched, man. Excuse me. He has this a way of disguising his thoughts. You can see him working it out. Now, whether they were fooled or not, I don't know. But he knew exactly how to answer those questions to get out of saying that he would, because they were trying to get him to bend his knee to Christ, and he wouldn't. He found a way to loop around it.
Yeah, he broke at his first deal at 12, I read, man.
Yeah, man. He was a prodigy. And his parents stole them diamonds from land that don't even belong to them. So, he became rich, came across fortune, sold something at 12 years old. Now, how does he have a mind like that? To me, that's unnatural. That's very unnatural. That's another world right there we're talking about. But see, that's the world we really live in, but we too blind to see it. We live in a spiritual realm. You are a spiritual being, so am I. This flesh dies away, goes to dirt. People keep thinking we're going in the dark. Like our lives meant nothing. Man, look, man. There's a life after this. And that's what they're building on this earth right now. Their kingdom, because pride was always the first sin, and the devil wants to be God. He's going to set his throne on this earth, and then Jesus come take it. Because now, I mean, whoa, you think it's bad now. You be a Christian, that lukewarm Christian, if you want to, and go ahead, hit that tribulation up and see what happens. I ain't that daggone tough. Well, I want to be around. See that? Man, Lord Jesus, take me up there right now. Right now. You know what I mean? Don't leave me down here. Don't you do it. What I got to do? You got to
Right.
be squeaky clean. Well, I'll be squeaky. Man, I'm going to be squeaky clean, man. You know what I mean? I'm cleaning everything, man. Clean everything up. No matter what it takes. He don't want you to die. And, I felt that he loves me that much after all the things I've been through or done or thought. You know what I mean? I'm addicted to porn, man, big time. And that's one of the worst not sin, but the worst things to be stuck on. Because for so long, I thought porn was just normal.
Because you're not sleeping with an actual person and you think,
Right.
yeah.
But if you don't stay in your word, you don't realize it's lust. Anyway.
Right.
The word tells you it's lust. So even whether she's a million miles away, I saw her body naked on there, and I fell for it. But now you're looking at everything. It's almost like that becomes your God. And that's the first thing you're already horny in the morning. Like, it was getting bad. You know what I mean? I said, man, like, I'm just glad to be out of it. I tell you that. There ain't nothing like being peaceful. None of that stuff brings peace, man. Temporarily, you might feel good for like a couple seconds. That's all it takes. But man, it's bad when we look back at it, and it's a scary place that you were in. You didn't even know it. So I feel as far as sorry for anybody that doesn't know what they're missing, man. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of people's hearts gonna be hardened in these days, and they're already doing it. They
Right.
mocked Jesus the Last Supper in the Olympics. Did you see
Yeah, I
that?
saw that. Yeah. And then the power went out after that. You saw that?
I didn't actually see that because I
Yeah.
wasn't watching the beginning of it. I just saw it was on the news or somebody. I didn't know. I wasn't watching all that.
Yeah, they mocked God and then they had a power outage right after.
Yeah,
That was God's way of saying, stop playing with me. That's what I think.
nobody told me that. I didn't see that part.
Yeah, bro,
I
go
just saw that
Google.
they mocked him. I didn't see the rest of it.
Yeah, power outage.
Yeah, man, that's terrible, man. See, people are so bold. That's why I say the church is wrong. You wouldn't be this bold. The church was bold. This is like, you don't see nobody jumping on Allah or Muhammad, do you?
Because the Muslims are bolder.
And then that shouldn't be. That's just like, man, like I told you, Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints, in the 90s, that was popular. I didn't know the difference between them and regular Christians. I didn't. What denomination? I thought I seen Jesus at the well. Like I said, I always remember there was a woman at the well and Jesus was down there talking to her, whatever. But they believe the blacks are cursed, man. It's in their doctrine. If you read the doctrine, like with stuff like this, hold up. Whoops. What is this called? Oh, Today's Religion, Handbook of Today's Religion. Something like this. You get into something like this, now you understand what your faith is versus what other people's faith is. So it tell you what Joseph Smith did with Latter-day Saints. You see what I'm saying? And then
Yeah,
you
and a
look at
house divided he can't stand. So you got all these different
right.
denominations that's getting their own version and not teaching exactly from the word. So the Christians
Mm-hmm.
can't get it together with themselves. And if you can't get it together with yourself, then how you gonna go out and teach somebody else?
Exactly. So the devil's got us really grasping at straws because you should feel bad. I was confused. I took my shahada as a Muslim. I told you when I was a teenager because I thought maybe
Mhm.
I'm just going to church because my mom go. Right? I'm just influenced because if I was over there in the Middle East, I guess I'd be Muslim and I wouldn't know no better. Right? So let me go
That,
try this because they more together than the Christian church is. That's why I went.
mhm.
And I immediately felt that pain in my chest. I said, wait a minute, I made a mistake, didn't I? God let me know right then in that moment. Boy, you tripping, man. Now, you better fake it and get out of here before they whoop you behind. you know? I didn't know what
Uh,
to do in that moment, man. I said, now what do I do?
right.
Now I gotta go sit down and eat with them and all. And I knew deep down inside that God was talking to me. And he hit me in my chest real quick. And it was a pain that I'll never forget. It felt like you said, man, like you just something got sucked out of you. The
Yeah,
pain
bro.
of God leaving you is something you can't explain. I know you can. We talked about this, and I knew
Yeah.
what you was talking about, but I knew it from that angle. Like I took my shahada, and well, I got 20%. I got too much shahada, and I did not feel good. There was no change, no nothing. It was all that was just a facade. It was just something I looked at and thought it was okay. You know, people cheating on each other in the church. That's what, like I said, us kids, like, man, this ain't can't be real.
Right.
I got jumped in the stairwell in church by the same kid I seen in school, man. You know what I mean? Like, but they never came at me one on one. So it was always wherever they could get me, they got me. You know what I mean? So I
Mhm.
started not trusting God. That's how you let me get beat up at church. This is my only sanctuary I come to with my dad in school and everybody. You know, I've always, like I said, I stayed myself. I said, even in church, man. You know, I remember feeling that too.
But it wasn't him. It was Satan
Nah,
using
it's
them that was
Satan.
playing. Right.
But I was a kid who, you know, like I said, there's no influence, no real male influence that goes to church that understands and looks things, you know, looks at God's uh I don't know how he views us through a man's eyes. There's only women that teach it. Women can't really teach men how to be men, so it's hard for them to, you know, how does a man view God and you know what you're supposed to do?
Right.
You know what I mean? And like I said, back to that again. You know, fatherless homes. I didn't have a fatherless home. I just had one that was tearing me to pieces. And
He
I wish
wasn't. He
that.
was there physically, but he wasn't
Right.
there. Yeah, mentally, spiritually, emotionally.
I remember I was telling you, you know, somebody. I said, man, sometimes it ain't good to have a father. I remember I was at that point, like, well, I think it was in prison when I said that. Sometimes it's better not to have one because of what I went through.
Right. Right.
Like, if it was just me and my mother, I would have been fine, but maybe not. I might not be the man I am today.
Right.
I don't know.
But we
So
got 2 minutes until the recording stop, brother. So we gonna have to do a part two. But I want you for the youngsters that's listening, and when I say youngsters, I'm talking about the ones that's like 16 to 25 that's heavy in them streets right now. What message you have for them?
Ron, I don't know. As a youngster, it's very difficult. It's a sensitive thing. I don't know. There's so many ways that the devil comes at children, and it depends on their situation. But I would tell them, you know, run to your nearest church, man, and at least try to talk to somebody different. And if they don't talk to you, you call me. I'll talk to you. When you talk to you, man, I mean, be accessible. I don't want them to perish. There's nothing really say but go to God. There's only one answer in the world. I'll never preach anything else. You know, self betterment, yeah, okay, but that's a self thing. It takes God out of it. And I used to watch those motivational things, but us as men, you know, come to an older gentleman that is about their business. That's you know a guy that loves on his children and stuff like that. That goes home at night and not out. Those are the guys you need to run to because those are the men holding down and really being a gangster. That's gangster when you take care of your house, man. It's responsibility that other people are running from. They've been a coward, run from responsibility. So you can't run to them and get it. You have to come to somebody that is really that's really about that business, man. Of trying to set up his house, trying to build wealth or whatever, but puts God first. That man will probably help you out. He'll stop everything. He should, but like I said, if he isn't, I'm available. You know what I mean? Because
And,
I would love to bring God to any child's life.
and give them the name of that channel again, Jake.
Oh, the name of the channel?
Yeah, your
Live by
YouTube.
living by faith.
Living by Faith. I want y'all
Mm.
to check my brother
I
out.
have to set all that up. That was my first video. I spent more time doing
Yeah,
the
I want
video.
them to go watch the first video. You gonna have more,
Oh,
but I
okay,
want
I
them to
got you.
know.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, they probably going to look at my name, Mario Johnson, to get that. Then,
Yeah, and that's
yeah,
his name on Facebook too, Mario
yeah,
Johnson. We're
yeah.
gonna have to do a part two, Jay. Thank you for being here, brother. You open up a lot of eyes, like I say, including
Yeah.
mine with the Elon Musk stuff. And I will admit, so I admit when I'm wrong. I didn't see a lot of stuff. I still, if I could vote, I still would vote the way I voted
Mm-hmm.
because I don't believe in the homosexuality
And the
part of the
abortions
sin.
and stuff.
Right.
Right,
And not to just pick sin is sin in general, but I still believe I voted the right way. But at the end of the day, all this stuff had to happen
right.
for
Yeah,
God's stuff
yeah,
to usher in of what we see in Revelations anyway. But
yeah.
he's right. If y'all not reading that book, if you're not understanding that we are living in end times, then you completely blind. And I sincerely
Mm.
encourage you to get in that word and pray because we all need it.
Yeah, man. People love you, even if we don't know you. I love people whether I know them or not. Especially if you hurting, man. I'm gonna love on you even harder if I know you hurting and stop, acting with pride and arrogance, and you let me see you for real. I'll be there for you, man. Because I don't. It's a dark place. Sometimes it's the loneliest place. And if nobody's taking you to God, man, they want you to die. That's how I look at it. They want your soul to perish, and so you can suffer some more. I'm not. I won't let nobody go through that, man. It's about compassion now, love and compassion right now, and understanding, man. So, yeah, we need to do a part two, man.
Yeah,
It
we
was an
gonna
honor
end
to be.
on
It
that
was an honor
note.
to be on here, man.
Part
Mm.
two coming. Part two coming, y'all. Good night. Until next time.
And God bless. All right, my brother.
All right.
I'm starting to feel like we too chosen. For real. When Diamond do the beat, you already know it go crazy. Every time. Yeah. My discernment on infinity. I lay all my burdens on the Trinity. Separate yourself from every entity, so you could operate in God's energy. A lot of demons trying to get to me, only to pretend like they a friend of me. Separate yourself from every enemy, so you could operate in God's energy. Yeah, I like this. Light child. Look, everybody wanna shine, but nobody being the light.
Nobody doing it.
The enemy been on the prowl, but I'm not believing the hype.
I don't believe it.
Whenever I get too distracted, it's hard to succeed in a fight. Evil in sight, surrounded by Jezebels, but that ain't even my type. I got a wife, I got a life to save.
Good morning, people. Good morning, and God bless you. My name is Mario. I'm starting this channel because I've been feeling led, just like many others like me have been led. I'm a little late to the party. Oh, I'm late to the party because like I said, I'm getting up there in age, and it took me this long to figure it out. But I'm here. That's all that matters, man. When God finds a child, it's like I said, it's like in the book, in a good book, it talks about it right there in the Bible. When Jesus gives the parable about the lost sheep and how the sheep, knows his voice, he talks about that. They follow him because they know his voice. That's That's Jesus telling you that you are his child. He's chosen you to be with him. Rejoice in that. That's such a happy feeling. You can't put any human emotion to it. It's beyond being elated or anything. You just know you're safe from this enemy that is attacking you. You know he can't touch you. The only way he can touch you is if you choose to walk away, and that's what Jesus is talking about in that parable, talking about the stray sheep that has gone off from the herd. gone off from the church, from fellowship. Something has lied to you and pulled you away. Are you one of those people that has went astray and you just don't know where you are anymore? Well, I invite you to go right back to that right there, the cross. That's what I invite you to do. Or pray with me. I'm going to try to make it. This is new to me. I'm going to figure it all out. I'm going to make myself accessible for you to pray with me. And we can pray together. We need to join hands across the globe as these events are taking place. I'm going to leave it at events because a lot of people don't know about it. So I don't want to sound confusing. These are things you're going to have to go into the book and find out. Go right to the Bible and he'll tell you, for yourself. But that's how you're going to know Jesus. But testimony is how you begin to know who Jesus is, because you'll be curious. He'll spark a curiosity in you that'll make you want to find out who he is, especially when your life is in turmoil. It's a wreck. You're shipwrecked. You have nowhere else to go. You're on this island all by yourself. You don't have no other boat to take you anywhere, and you got ocean all around you. What do? There's no food, just salt water to drink. That's isolation. Isolation from all the devil schemes in the world. Buying new shoes, getting a new car, going to the movies, going to clubs. Our own minds. God is calling you, especially today. If you felt what I felt, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one out here, man, we're it's time for a fellowship, amongst us believers. We've all been called to evangelize. I know everybody's not called to do the same thing. I know everybody has a spiritual walk. But Jesus said, Jesus actually said, to go out into the world and tell the world who he is. So some people are street corner preachers. Some people are prayer warriors that notice that somebody, is hurting, and you can feel it. That's called spiritual sensitivity. It's not of this world that you feel that. You wouldn't have felt that any other way besides having the power of God within you. He said to be a light to the world. So he is the light in you. That's what's showing in you. That's what's reflecting to them. That's the reflection they see. You. Jesus. So the Heavenly Father has ways, miraculous ways of how to deal with people. It's so amazing how it works. I was just sitting there this morning thinking about, how he used even the government for his benefit still. Like, even though the enemy's controlling things, it's hard to trust anybody, government. Everything they do behind closed doors. We put them in power. They talk behind closed doors and don't let us know what they're doing. I don't think that's fair, but the enemy does things in the dark. God does things in the light. He wants you to see the truth. He wants you to know. Nothing is hidden. Jesus said that. He'll never keep anything from you if you go to him and ask him. But the enemy will. He'll send your friend to do it. He'll send your mother, your father, your brother, maybe even your dog. I don't know. But he can't touch or harm you. You harm yourself. I need you to know you harm yourself. You choose. You choose. Every day is a choice. Right or left. Good or evil. It's very simple. Now you have to figure out who's your friend. Essentially. You know what you're doing every day. I did. But for some reason, I couldn't bring myself to repent. Now that I think back on it, it's such a scary place to be. The weight that I've carried all these years is gone, like really gone. Drinking after work, getting a beer, starting to get fat. Then now you look at your reflection and you hate yourself. Boy, the devil's bad. Please don't be his friend. I'm begging you. Please don't be his friend. There's nothing. Like I feel a whole lot better than I did then walking with dummy over there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna call him because he can't touch me. I don't care what he thinks. He's a dummy because he thinks he can outdo God. I don't understand. I mean, you're done. You're done, Satan. You're done. So, um, I used to box and things like that, wrestle and things like that in school. So I have more of an aggressive way of getting at him because he's taken so many lives. He's messed with my father, my mother, friends, made people kill themselves. My my woman, my best friends, I see him trying to tear them up, trying to snare them up. You know, it makes me angry. It makes me angry at sin when I see it because I know I'm not angry at the people. I'm angry at who's doing it. That's where you need to be. When you're in Christ, that's what's going to happen. You're going to be angry at sin. So you're angry at the right person finally. Not at yourself, not at somebody coming at you because they have an attitude. I challenge you today to look within yourself if that does happen and realize who your real enemy is. I'm going to get more into specific topics later, but I'm more of a motivator, so I kind of ramble because one thought I go to the next, so I apologize. But I just hope that it's reaching someone today, that is also in the same boat. I used to have a lot of fear coming on here. I didn't know what I was going to say, but it just comes out so naturally. So, again, the Lord, God is good. Jesus is good. Jesus is beautiful. Jesus is powerful. He defeated sin. We cannot. So, there you go. Come to that today. The cross that he died on for you. Lord Heavenly Father, in Jesus' name, we praying today that people that do not know come to you. I'm praying that I can touch someone with your help, with your power. Please fill me with your spirit, Father, your lamp. You said that a lamp does no good under a bowl, but a person will put it on a nightstand so that the whole house will be lit and everything will be revealed. Father, that's what we are called to do. We're called to bring your name to people, to introduce you. It's like introducing a friend to another acquaintance or a friend. And then you take their hand and you go from there. Father, I'm just here to plant seeds. But your power is all they need. Your love is all they need. Father, as you embrace me, I pray that you embrace them. For I have done so many things wrong in my life. I still don't know why you have this mercy on me. But I'm eternally grateful. I'm just so grateful that you love me this much. And you love them this much. Nobody is special. You want us all to be in your kingdom. So as you give me the strength and courage to go forward, I pray that I can reach people. I pray that I reach somebody this morning. Lord, there's nothing more to say. I ask that they get to work safely and back safely. Protect the children as they go to school in these school buses. Protect them from the evil one lurking in the hallways and in some of the teachers' minds that are allowing some of these things in our young children's, elementary schools. Lord, you know what's happening to your people. I pray this as they put people in place to corrupt. I pray that people will stand up and also be in place to tell them the truth. Father, there's nothing in this world that goes unnoticed by you. You know every grain of sand, all the way from the beach, all the way down into the depths of the ocean. Now, who else in the world could do that but you? That means you're in total control of everything. There's nothing you don't know about. So you're still going to turn it to your favor, just like my own life. So we praise you this morning, Lord, for your majesty, your power, and your sovereignty, and your wisdom, and your guidance, and your love, Father. Teach us to love one another, to live with compassion for one another in these days that are getting so terrible. We got to stand together. Even if we don't believe the same thing, we are only human. The disrespect, unconcern, no compassion, no empathy for anyone anymore. Oh, please bring that back in this world with more people. I know not everybody's going to believe that. Not everybody's built the same. But Father, those that are wondering where to go, I point them to the cross. Touch the person that is looking for you today. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Well, I'll be back. Get some topics together. Like I said, it's new. Everything's new right now. But everything works according to his will anyway. So whatever he has me to say, I'm going to bring it. I'm not ashamed of that cross. And I listen for you to be the same. Don't be ashamed of the cross. He is your friend. He is your dad. He's your everything. He is your life giver. And he's your life sustainer. So please don't forget it.